Good morning, everyone, and this is another episode of 10 Ways in 10 Days. I hope you're having a great day. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of eating organic food. And organic food is just the way nature intended it to be, intended food for us to be. We shouldn't have to call it anything, but in today's corrupt and dysfunctional and money-making society, we have to call natural food organic. And food that is raised conventionally, and you can see how misleading the language is, but food that is raised conventionally and sprayed with pesticides and herbicides and fungicides really is terrible for the body, and it shouldn't belong in our food, and therefore it shouldn't belong in our body. But we have to call that conventional food. So what we're starting to see in the scientific literature is how these chemicals are altering our structures. One of the things that glyphosate, which is the number one ingredient in Roundup, what we found is it alters the utilization of a very important amino acid called glycine. And glycine is a very critical in something called phase 2 detoxification. It's how your body gets rid of all the toxins in our bodies. And it's also very important in something called glutathione. And glutathione is our master antioxidant, the number one way our body deals with free radicals. It's been shown to alter protein sequencing, which can wreak havoc on really any system of our body, from healing to building to digestion to our nervous system. So the list goes on and on. So needless to say, we want to try to do things to avoid GMO foods. So buying organic food is really a good way of reducing your exposure to glyphosate. When they get processed food and they allow us to eat it, it really can cause a whole epidemic. But again, the research is starting to show that it may affect us down the road, and the research will kind of show that maybe we were guinea pigs when it comes to for this topic. So buying organic food is a really great option. Again, we do know that organic food is not completely clean, but it is far less affected. Certain foods like legumes and wheat and peanuts, for instance, they may not be genetically modified, but they are sprayed with glyphosate. For example, wheat is not genetically modified, but to dry out the wheat, what they do is they spray it at the end with glyphosate to help dry it faster. Now, when it gets sprayed, the wheat really soaks in all that glyphosate, and when the wheat is then floured and made into bread, unlike other foods, it really can't be washed or rinsed. So you can't wash a piece of bread. So those residues from the glyphosate have incorporated themselves into the food directly. So this food becomes highly, highly toxic to a lot of people. And that's why, for instance, people that go to Europe, where there's a lot of countries that have banned GMO, they can eat foods like breads and other foods that are usually GMO in Canada and the United States, and they can feel fine, but they come back to Canada and the States, and then the wheat is sprayed on the glyphosate here, and it really wreaks havoc on their stomach. So some really easy tips that you can start doing is buy organic food as much as possible. Buy from local farmers markets. That's ideal. Grow your own vegetables and fruits and herbs in the back. That's fantastic. And those are really great options to start you on a better pathway. I hope that helps.